Whether you hate it or love it, you cannot deny Invictus changed the game. What's good, guys? Hunter here and welcome back to Fragrance Hunter. Hope you're all doing good. Today we're talking about the original Paco Rabanne Invictus, and honestly I cannot believe I haven't reviewed this one yet. So we're going to be talking about it today, see if it's still worth it now since it's been around for quite some time and actually has had a huge following and completely changed the game in perfumery as well. And also has pretty much birthed so many flankers of Invictus to this day. Also, you can tell it looks a little bit different from my usual videos. I kind of changed the angle filming over here for now, so let me know down below if you like this angle. I think it's a little bit more laid back, a little bit more chill and kind of personal. So let's run down some information now. Invictus was launched way back in 2013, so it's been around for over 10 years at the time of this recording. For the retail price on the two sizes this comes in, 50 ml will run you $99, or you get the 100 ml like I have in hand for $125, which honestly is give or take as far as the pricing goes for a designer fragrance. Of course, you can find these on discounters, which you already know. I'll leave a tag on this video, the best price you can find it for. And of course, for the concentration, this one is going to be an eau de toilette concentration, which means it is on the lower scale of things, but still being an EDT does have some advantages to it, especially for this one. And for the perfumers, they got 4 perfumers behind the original Invictus, which I actually did not know, and they're pretty much master perfumers such as Anne Filippo, Dominic Ropillon, Olivier Poge, and of course Veronique Natberg, which honestly guys, like I said, I had no idea they had these master noses behind the OG Invictus until I started making this review, which kind of makes sense on why this fragrance absolutely took off and changed the game. So with all the information out of the way, let's look at the packaging and presentation you get with the OG Invictus now. So of course, take a look at this box, which is going to be your kind of generic designer box. You of course have the wings on the front with the Invictus logo, 100 ml bottle as well, like I said, eau de toilette. On the bottom, you got your barcode and batch code right there to authenticate your product and see when it was produced. And then nothing really on the back, and then up top, nothing as well. All in all, like I said, pretty generic box presentation. I'll put that to the side. But taking a look at this bottle, guys, this bottle is actually pretty beautiful, being this kind of trophy design, very iconic, very unique as well. It does have the integrated kind of sprayer with no cap, which I'm not really the biggest fan of, to be honest with you, but hey, it's not really the biggest deal. And then on the bottom, you got etched in all your information. It's probably a badge code as well. Of course, being an Invictus bottle, guys, this one is iconic and really recognizable. In the top, you got C notes, grapefruit, and mandarin orange. In the mid, you're gonna find that bay leaf and jasmine. And in the base, you got ambergris, gaiac wood, oak moss, and patchouli. And this be classified as a fresh sweet. And of course, that note breakdown, guys, sounds pretty good. So let's spray this and test out these atomizers. I'm spray over here because I don't want to spray my coffee. That would not be good. Like I said, pretty disappointing atomizer, guys. It's not pressurized or anything like that. And I'm never really a big fan of the integrated atomizers that come with most Paco Rabannes, like the 1 million line as well. But let's go ahead and remind myself of the iconic Invictus. And of course, I'll let you do the first sniff. So this is basically the sweet bubblegum fragrance that started them all, guys. There's so many clones of this, so many twists on this, etc. But this one right here is the OG, because in the opening, you're gonna get this very sweet, fruity combination from this zesty grapefruit, which I love grapefruit, and mixed together with this mandarin orange. Very fruity, very sweet, could possibly be synthetic as well. It doesn't really smell that natural, which isn't really a bad thing in most cases, especially for a kind of fragrance of this nature. I do not mind synthetics at all, guys. And the opening is very intriguing and will get so much attention. That's really what it was made for. This one has always been a compliment beast for me ever since I got it. And I was a little bit late to the game, to the Invictus kind of hype train, guys. I got this bottle maybe like 2 or 3 years ago. Definitely not when it came out back in like 2013. I wasn't even in the fragrance game at that time. Now, along with a very sweet, fruity, kind of candy-like bubblegum opening from the mandarin and grapefruit, you do get this aquatic C note, guys. It is going to be an aquatic sweet opening, no doubt about that. A little bit salty as well, which I think makes for a great combination. Fruity, salty, and aquatic. Now, as you start making your way into the mid of Invictus, the sweet bubblegum opening still going to be there. That lasts a very, very long time. However, you're going to start getting greeted to this aromatic green bay leaf. Now, bay leaf in this DNA has always been a very dominant, one of the most dominant notes in here that makes it so recognizable to my name, guys. Every time I smell this fragrance, I immediately almost detect detect the bay leaf right away, which I think is what makes this fragrance really stand apart from anything else, especially at the time this fragrance came out, guys. It had to have been like very, very unique. And some other fragrances you think of when it comes to this realm of things, of course, Versace Havas, the original, of course, Dumont Nitro Red as well, which are both bangers in and of themselves. But I don't know, guys, Invictus is still it when it comes to that DNA. And honestly, isn't really fair to this fragrance just because there's so many twists on it, so many interpretations on it that kind of made it smell overplayed, too popular, etc., etc. I mean, it's not Invictus's fault that this fragrance was a hype train and took off when it first came out and made so many clones. Because personally, I think this fragrance is still pretty solid even to this day, at least when it comes to certain situations, which we'll discuss a little bit later on in the review. Now, once you finally get into the base of Invictus, you are going to be left with this very musky, ambergris, a little bit salty in and of itself, guys. Now, it might actually probably be ambroxan, which is a synthetic molecule of ambergris, which I love ambroxan actually, guys. It makes the fragrance perform. It makes the fragrance really crowd pleasing. So you're gonna get that kind of ambroxan, ambergris, musky base, no doubt about it, mixed together with this very woody Gaiac wood as well, just to round it off perfectly. So bubblegum sweet, kind of fruity opening mixed together with aquatic notes that dries down, a little bit aromatic green from the bay leaf with a musky ambergris woody base is what you're gonna get from Invictus. And I gotta say, despite the DNA being overplayed nowadays, guys, I actually quite enjoy the way this one smells. And I was like, you know what? I haven't reviewed the original Invictus yet. I have it in the collection and I might as well review this one before I review any of the other flankers if I ever decide to pick any of them up and dive into the line, which I probably will now. Yeah, you cannot deny Invictus is not an absolute icon when it comes to men's designer fragrances. Let me know down below if you're a fan of it. So for the best seasons to rock Invictus, I would probably only primarily wear this one in the spring and summertime, not so much in the fall and winter, despite it being bubblegum sweet, which sometimes work. I just think the aquatic notes, the kind of muskiness going on in here works perfectly for the higher heat days like spring and summer. Plus, it's not really a signature scent that I would wear like all 4 seasons, even though you could if you absolutely love the DNA, no doubt about that. It could be your signature scent, especially if you just want to smell like an F-boy, then yeah, this is going to be for you for sure. But I will warn you though, when girls smell this on you, they might think you are a player or an F-boy, so be cautious while wearing it. For occasion, this is an ultra casual fragrance, one of the most casual designer men's fragrances out there, guys. This one is only for clubbing, going out to a party, in the evening time, at night, doing something fun, etc. That's the only time you really want to wear this one. It gives off youthful, playful, kind of immature F-boy clubbing vibes for sure. Not a formal, sophisticated, elegant fragrance at all, guys. When I smell this, it smells like I'm in a club. Which, like I said, this fragrance has its place in my collection for only in the spring and summer when I'm going out to a party or a club, etc. Even though there's some other good party fragrances now, but this was pretty much like the party king when it first came out and still does hold its own to this day after 10 years of being released. And for gender, this for me, guys, is very masculine. I wouldn't really want to smell a woman rocking this, especially the kind of image I have in my head about being a party dude, like an F-boy. Yeah, no doubt about a masculine fragrance, guys. Not a feminine leaning fragrance at all, of course, which you probably already knew. But I have to say it because some women might look at this and say, hey, oh, this is a cool trophy looking bottle. Let me pick that up. And they're gonna smell like a dude. Because for me personally, I love my women to smell feminine and just pretty, which this is basically the exact opposite to that. And for age groups, you guys already know, youthful for sure. This is a very youthful, kind of late teens, early 20s type of fragrance, and that's pretty much it. Even though I'm in my late 20s now, I could still wear it, of course, but it definitely does lean more youthful rather than mature, of course. This would be a great fragrance for somebody in their late teens, like in high school, in their early 20s, going to college, partying, hitting up clubs like on a daily basis or a weekend basis, but still, guys, very youthful, juvenile, playful type of fragrance that is very sweet, fresh, and kind of smells like bubblegum. So if you are in your late teens, you're in those kind of situations a lot of times and you want a sweet kind of compliment magnet to attract the ladies, Invictus might be one of the best options to go for even to this day. So wrapping the review up, talking on the performance you should get from Invictus. Now this is, like I said, an eau de toilette concentration, which is on the lower side of things when it comes to perfume concentration. Probably only getting around 10 to 15% oils in here, which is not high at all. And for my testing, guys, Had this bottle for a few years. On skin, I got around 6 hours of longevity, which isn't that bad for an EDT if I'm being honest. And you really don't need this one to perform all day unless you're going to a club until like 4 a.m. in the morning, which, man, I don't know who you are if you're doing that, because I'm not about that life. But this is the kind of stuff you spray on right before hitting a club. You only need it to perform up to 6 hours and you're gonna be good. And when it comes to the projection, guys, this is where this one absolutely shines, because it's a very loud, pretty much room-filling projecting fragrance, especially for the first couple of hours. That's what I like about EDTs. They have their place because most of the time they project a lot more than like eau de parfums or extrait de parfums, because alcohol is what makes a fragrance project. So the less perfume oils, the more alcohol content you have in here. And this one absolutely screams off the skin and will get you a ton of compliments, which is exactly what you're looking for if you are in a club situation. You want to overpower all the other dudes' fragrances around you. You want to get attention from the ladies. You want to get compliments from them as well and have them come a little bit closer to you. Maybe even have them dancing on you, etc. This fragrance is great for that. And that's why it's always been one of the clubbing kings and still an icon for that situation to this day. So slightly below average with the 6 hours of longevity. Definitely apply your clothes. You might get a couple hours longer, but absolutely loud, room-filling projection for the first few hours, which is fantastic. And believe me, when you're dancing and clubbing and drinking, etc., this fragrance is really, really good, especially when you start sweating, getting your body heat up, etc. This stuff absolutely blows off of the skin, guys. And if you're like me and like to overspray a little bit, yeah, believe me, everybody's gonna smell you, which is pretty much what you're gonna be looking for, right? But that's gonna do it for my review of the iconic OG Paco Rabanne Invictus. And let me know down below if you still like the original. Which one is your favorite flanker that I should probably check out and review next? I know the Aqua got a ton of hype, which got discontinued, but I believe they brought it back. Of course, they have like Elixir, Victory, etc., etc. So many flankers came out of the OG, guys. So drop your recommendations down below, because the only one I own is the original Invictus. I have tried a few others from samples, from being in department stores, etc. But still, guys, I'm very curious to look at more into this line. But besides that, leave a like, subscribe below if you haven't already, because what are you doing, man? I got you with daily fragrance content. Of course, I'll see all of you back here tomorrow. Take care, everybody.